Hello, we're going to do some work on abdominal breathing today. People know it as belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, breathing into the lower abdomen. In our Reiki practice, this is the Joshin Kokyu Ho practice that we do with Hatsuri Ho, uh, our our beginning practice as we're getting ready to start our Reiki session. So let's just do the way that we learn abdominal breathing. Usually, most people start with just learning to get the breath into your lower abdomen here, as opposed to breathing to your upper, your lungs go all the way up here, right? Below your collarbones. And a lot of times people are just breathing into this top area of the lungs. I just did it. I don't know if you noticed that. I took a little breath and breathed right in here. So a lot of times when I will tell somebody or ask them to take a deep breath, that's the first thing that they do. This is a stressful way to breathe. This shallow breathing that we do quickly when we just like grabbing some air in the middle of a busy day. What we want to get used to doing for Reiki practice, for Qigong practice, and just for life in general, because it's more relaxing. It helps the body move into the relaxation response and out of fight or flight. So this is a very nice practice to do um, just for your general health, but definitely if you're a Reiki practitioner or if you have been practicing Qigong. So as we know, or maybe don't know, I know some people maybe have been practicing yoga or meditation and then already know how to do this. So you might be a little bored in this video, but that's what we're going to be doing today is abdominal breathing. So um, the diaphragm, I was about to say, goes all the way around the body, right? It attaches to our ribs. You can feel your ribs right up under here. And if you breathe in, leave your hands right here, just pressing under your ribs and breathe in. And you can feel that expansion from your diaphragm it's coming down like this so that it can make more room for the lungs to take in air, right? Then when you breathe out, you can feel it contracting, pressing up to expel the air from the lungs. Um, so that type of breathing doesn't always come naturally to actually a lot of people. So we're going to practice on making sure that when we breathe in, we have our diaphragm come down like this, okay? So leave your hands here over your belly button and just see if you can do that. Like put a little pressure here, pressing in, and so that when you breathe in, you press your hands out. And then when you exhale, your hands float back in because your belly is pressing in and your diaphragm is pressing up, okay? Let's try it again. Breathe in and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Now, does that feel natural to you? Are you used to breathing like this? Or even if you're not, does it come fairly easily or is it something to practice? A couple more times. Try to breathe all the way out. So then the air comes in almost on its own. It feels a little more automatic. Do a couple more times. Okay? So that's the first part. You can practice that independently. We're going to do two more parts to make sure that we're accessing, that we're learning to sense all aspects of the diaphragm. Okay, so now take your hands and put them, your ribs where we just went here, follow them down, and these are your lower ribs. So just press in a little bit right underneath them. Just press in gently, the same that we did here at the belly, to exhale. Everything contracting in, press in a little bit. And then when you inhale, your belly is going to press your hands out to the side, right? And you can feel that contraction of the what's that thing called? The diaphragm. Okay, exhale and inhale. Try it a couple times at your own pace. And really contract, let all the air out, press the diaphragm up, in. See, it's expanding out to the front and also out to the sides. Belly button in, and inhale, and exhale. Everything in, belly button pressing back. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Good, okay. Breathe normally a couple times. Now, this is, we would just, I usually refer to this as abdominal breathing, just paying attention to the front aspect. This in Qigong, we call it Qi belt breathing, this being the Qi belt all around where the diaphragm goes. And now we're going to do kidney breathing. And kidney breathing is where we access the back of my ribs are right here, and the kidneys are just sort of up tucked under the ribs. So you're going to place your hand on your kidneys, and then when you breathe in, you're going to feel for the expansion in the back of your body as well. So that's a little bit harder to track. I'll move my hand and see if you can see it. Just a little bit, right? The other thing that you can add on to kidney breathing is that when you breathe in, tuck your tailbone under so that you're expanding the lower back muscles as you're expanding your diaphragm. So this whole area has more room to breathe. I'll try that again. And exaggerated. And when you exhale, your tailbone just goes back to more of a neutral spine. Okay, but when you inhale, see if you can get a little bit more space there with your by relaxing the low back muscles and tucking your tailbone under. Okay, so let's try. Well, let's try the kidney breathing if you weren't doing that already. Okay, let's do that a few times. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. I don't know if it's easier if I move my hand. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can go slowly. Give yourself time to really focus your attention on your back and the way that your tailbone is moving and the way that your lower back muscles are lengthening a little bit. Try one more time. Good. Now, if you weren't all together, let's do just a couple more times. Make sure that you are doing all three at once. Now, when you practice this, again, if it comes naturally to you, just, practice to have it even more refined, have it come even more natural. So you don't even have to think like, oh, I'm belly breathing now. If it feels unnatural, maybe practice individually like this. So make sure your belly, your chi belt, and your kidneys are all expanding together. So go ahead and try this all together a couple of times if that feels comfortable for you. Tuck your tailbone, inhale. How's that working out for you? Does it feel more and more natural every time you practice? Every time you inhale and exhale? Or does it just feel confusing? Now, one thing that I also like to do, because we can get up in our heads like, oh, what's my side body doing? Oh, what are my kidneys doing? And like trying to take it apart. The other thing to think about is that your energy center is behind, inside, behind your belly button and a little bit lower. So it's almost, you can imagine like if my hand were like on the inside of my body, right? Everything expanding this way and contracting, expanding that energy center and contracting it so that it would be almost like pushing up against the side of the front of your belly, pushing up against the sides of your belly, pushing up against the back of your belly, your back, the back of your lungs. And sometimes that visual can help as if you did have an expandable inflatable ball or something inside that was like expanding and contracting. Might be just a little bit easier, or you can do it together. But the point is to get comfortable with abdominal breathing, to really feel where your diaphragm is and how it works. You know what I'll do? I'm going to look for a YouTube video on that shows you the mechanics of that if you haven't seen that already. As I said before, this might maybe you're not still watching if this is already nothing new to you, but I will look for another video that shows like you know, a graphic or something so you can see how the diaphragm works. Also, I will link a video below that once you feel comfortable with this, we do some easy Qigong exercises to then work on expanding the musculature, getting some space in between the ribs so that you can take in even more air when you're doing this belly breathing. I'll say one more thing before we finish. And I mentioned it in that other video as well. But the point of doing this is not to only breathe into your belly, right? Most of us, I mean, I do it all day, just when I'm rushing, you know, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, let's take a breath. But the point is not only to breathe right here. You want to breathe using your entire um, the whole of both of your lungs, right? And they come all the way from under your collarbones here down to the bottoms of your ribs here, right? So what we're aiming at is that when you breathe in, yes, you breathe all the way up here, but you do it in 3 parts: belly, ribs, chest. Belly, ribs, a little harder to see there, and then chest. So I just threw that in at the end. So to give you an idea of the end game and to not think that you're like not breathing, right? If you breathe like that, it's a nice deep breath, but it's a full breath all the way from the bottom of your belly, all the way to the very top, like where your collarbones are, from the bottoms to the tops of your ribs. Okay. All right. So I will see you next time. Thank you for practicing with me, and look for those other 2 videos below. Okay. Bye.